Welcome back to Conversations Over Coffee. I'm your host, Chris, and I'm here with.
Denise.
How's it going, peeps? I hope your week has been gracious and great and all that good stuff. You know. So, how's your week been?
It's been pretty good actually, and we get an extra day off in the weekend, so that's even better.
Oh, yes, Memorial Day. What's that? Memorial Day weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. That's coming up. A old American tradition.
Honoring our fallen
Oh,
soldiers.
yeah, definitely. What is your favorite dish for a cookout for Memorial Day?
Oh gosh.
That's a good question.
Yeah, I like a variety of things. I've never thought about a favorite. I like pasta salad and baked beans and fruit salad, and I probably like the snacky stuff more than the actual meal stuff.
Yeah, what is a staple for Memorial Day when you know that normal people? I mean, just people cook on that
I
day.
think
What
like
makes it
burgers
say?
and hot dogs, you have that's your opening season of the summer, so people start grilling out and having folks over and going to the beach and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, definitely. And what's that? Grilling and music.
Mm-hmm.
This year to be what's that? Grilling, music, and probably swimming.
Hopefully, yep, if the
Yeah.
weather holds out.
Oh yeah. In this episode, we're going to discuss movies. Movies,
Movies.
movies, movies, movies. Our what's that? It's not our second pastime. Probably your third or fourth pastime, I guess. You
No,
think?
no, it's pretty high up there.
Yeah, I guess. We just got finished seeing what's that? Mission Impossible. What's that? What's that? The Final Reckoning with Tom Cruise. His last hurrah for the franchise.
Thank you, T-Mobile Tuesday, for that $5
Yeah,
ticket.
$5 ticket. It only we were only charged what's that? $10 for what's that?
Two
Two
tickets.
tickets, and then we had to be what's that? Charged so much on popcorn.
We spent $27 for a large popcorn, a large soda, and one candy.
Yeah, so we made it. No, made it up. And
I mean, $30, $40 for a movie date, tickets and snacks is probably pretty good. So
mm-hmm.
I think normally those tickets would have been like $15 a piece.
Yeah,
So
oh yeah, definitely. But the movie was not his best work out of the franchise. It was okay. It wasn't better than the last one that we saw.
no, I think if they hadn't have drawn out some of the scenes and kept the action a little bit closer together,
Yeah,
the pace a little bit higher, it could have been really. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it could have been
really,
really good.
yeah. It was almost a 3 hour movie. Um, the editing was choppy. They was just trying to wrap up the franchise, you know.
I
So
mean, I think they did a good job of bringing back old people from previous movies and connecting past storylines. That part was nice, that they
oh
kind of
yeah,
pulled it all together. It's like they didn't forget about the old Mission Impossibles. They kind of
yeah.
wrapped them all up
And yeah, brought
together.
old people, back together and stuff like that. So I mean, it's definitely a watch if you're a person that loved the franchise. Definitely. So that being said, what was your favorite movies? I guess what are your favorite movies that you miss and they will make more of? You think?
Oh gosh. I think what I like action movies because that's always enjoyable. That suspense and moving and things happening. And then I like scary movies, although I need to see them in the daytime so I don't have bad dreams.
Yeah.
So I don't. Scary movies now for me are more gory than scary. So if they were going to bring something back or do something better, I think go back to that time of the real storytelling of a scary movie. So it like builds up the suspense and you don't know what's going to happen. It's just not like guts falling out everywhere. It's really like something's jumping out to
Oh.
get you kind of thing.
Oh yeah. They have fallen very hard on what's that? Scary movie department.
Right.
It's not. It's not anything good. Movies are. I don't consider movies that great now.
Overall or just
Yeah.
scary
Overall,
movies?
not.
Oh,
Yeah, not now. Yeah, it's just like there's
okay.
no originality about anything. Where I mean, they've had a few. We've had a few gems like Sinners. That supposedly done well at the box office.
Yeah, really well.
But I mean, that guy that directed it and wrote it, he did Black Panther. So
Okay,
he's
well,
not really He's not really a short dog in that thing. I think
Right.
he did both Black Panthers and a couple other things.
Okay. So he's got a pretty strong reputation then.
Yeah, he's the what's that? I think the first black director.
Oh.
That's like over a billion.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's a
Okay.
young
Well, I mean,
guy.
everybody wants to see Black Panther. So,
Hmm.
so what movies do you wish they would make
Um,
better or more of?
Probably scary movies they can do better. Action. What's that? Was born in the '80s. And, grew up in the '90s. I miss those movies where action. You remember the old action heroes like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jean Claude Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren and who else? God, those old
Chuck Norris.
Not Chuck Norris. I'm not
Not
that
Chuck
old.
Norris?
Yeah, I'm not that old. Chuck
Well,
Norris
you
wasn't my
watched this with
jam.
my dad.
Yeah, I was
so-
pretty young when that scene came around. I don't know. There was just like a nostalgia about those movies. It's like I guess it was an era where every script was like fresh.
Okay.
You know.
Well, do you
And,
think they just run out of ideas because they did have so many fresh
Oh yeah,
scripts?
yeah. We're redoing movies over again. They don't need to be done over. Why in the hell does The Bodyguard need to be
Yeah, you
redone?
should
Like,
mess with that. That's a classic.
it's,
You should
it's,
mess
if
with
if
it.
you can explain it to me, I might can, grasp it a little better. But and then we can't let the what's that Jurassic Park franchise die for some reason.
But so we saw the preview for the new one, and we both thought that looked like it was going to be pretty good.
Yeah, it looked darker.
Yeah, more intense and maybe less like they're doing stupid stuff. And it's like, okay,
Yeah.
you deserve for the dinosaur to get you. 'Cause
Well, they
why are
didn't
you
look
doing
like
that?
dinosaurs. They look like creatures.
Well,
or something.
now they've mutated because they've been on their own on that island for so
Yeah.
long.
But it's got Scarlett Johansson in it, so it's a win for me.
Okay.
Great actress. What movies are you looking forward to, or do you have any?
You
for that
know,
matter?
I don't even pay attention anymore because I know that you'll keep me abreast of what's coming. So I just wait for you to tell
That's
me.
sad.
I
That's
know.
pretty sad.
Same thing with new technology. So sorry.
Yeah. What do you think was your favorite movie growing up in your teens on up into your 20s? Let's talk
So,
about that era.
I'm a tad bit older than you,
Mhm.
and I am a lover of the Brat Pack era. So
Oh,
any
yeah.
movie with Molly Ringwald stole my heart.
I had to go back and watch those movies.
Yeah, so 16 Candles, Pretty in Pink, The Breakfast Club. I loved all those movies growing up, and then as I got a little bit older, probably my classic forever favorites are going to be Dirty Dancing and Shag, which was not a big hit in the box office, but has become a cult classic over the years. So
Well, Shag, can you give a brief synopsis?
So
What is Shag? Because it's a cult classic. It's like the people know anything about it. I didn't know anything about it, so you have to kind of give us a little.
So Shag is the story of a set of high school girlfriends who are all seniors, and they're going to go on one last trip before they graduate. And they live in South Carolina, but they tell their families they're going to tour colonial homes, but they really go to Myrtle Beach and are wild and meet boys. And then shenanigans erupt when there's a house party by accident and a fight with some local hillbillies that turns
Oh,
into a
Lord.
beauty competition and kind of coming of age, figuring out who they are and who they want to be. And there's boys and kissing, and it's cute and corny and so stereotypically Southern, but I love it.
It's a classic movie. It's crazy. A lot of people haven't seen it. I wonder how much it did do at the box office.
I think it did all right. I feel like we looked this up once before. It did all right, but it wasn't a blockbuster.
Yeah.
But I've even I think maybe on Instagram,
Hmm.
I found a group of people who are like Shag lovers, and they have formed an Instagram group to talk about the movie and reminisce and show clips and stuff like that. So apparently I'm not in the minority with this. So we got us a little diehard group of fans.
Well, it's not big as that Dirty Dancing.
Yeah,
That's like a whole another situation.
That I feel like I don't see as much stuff about that. There's always, every once in a while, people talk about the place that you can go to in the North Carolina mountains where they filmed the movie and just some of the things. I think over time they've tainted Dirty Dancing's legacy by making
Mm.
Dirty Dancing Havana Nights and then that terrible made for TV movie situation they did. And they did a Broadway show and they had a music thing. So
Oh
they've
Lord.
kind of diluted the
Oh
magic. Now
yeah.
I'll watch it. You put it on, I'm gonna watch it and I'm gonna recite the lines with all the characters, but I
Oh
don't know,
yeah.
it's not quite as magical, I guess. Maybe it's not the right word, but I mean it's still good. It's still a classic.
Well, that being said, it was like a whole bunch. I remember we watched that. What was that? The
Movies that made us.
made us. If you haven't seen that, it's on Netflix. It tells you the backstory of what's that Dirty Dancing.
A lot of different
Yeah, a lot of
movies.
stuff. How hard it was for them to get it produced, the script, and all that stuff like
Right.
that.
Patrick Swayze
yeah,
and Jennifer Grey didn't even like
like
each
each other.
other.
Yeah, man, and it was like, yeah, it's that whole series is very interesting. They do from Dirty Dancing, they do Die Hard. I think they did Ghostbusters, which we didn't see yet, and I'm a big Ghostbusters fan. I kind of know about some of that stuff. What else did they do? They did a whole bunch of other movies.
Home Alone.
Home Alone. We watched quite a bit.
Yeah, so many.
I think we watched it with your cousin Wendy. Did we watch?
We
that?
watched a little bit with her, yeah.
Yeah. So please watch it, Netflix. But
So what movies are you excited to see coming up?
Gee, I was kind of excited to see the Mission Impossible. God,
Lilo and Stitch?
Lilo and Stitch probably. Yes, Lilo and Stitch. God, I'm not interested in seeing that Megan movie with the robot Megan 2.0. I want to see it, but it looks ridiculous.
Okay.
There's something else. There's one more movie out there. I can't think on it, but if it's not that, if I can't think of it,
I didn't even look when we went to the movies yesterday. I didn't even look at the posters to see what
Well,
other movies
I think
were playing.
I think Jordan Peele's executive produced movie Him. Everybody thinks Jordan Peele had something. Yeah, people don't do their research. When you executive produce something, you don't really necessarily write it. You might put your input
Right.
into it,
You
and
kind
they're
of
like,
check off.
yeah,
on
they're
it.
like, man, Jordan Peele, his movie. I'm like, he didn't write the movie. And it's out Marlon Wayans in it and a couple other people. So that might be a little bit.
It's called Him.
Him, yes.
Okay.
So look that up. It's what's that? Football thriller
Okay.
about what would you give up to have fame and fortune? What are you willing to sacrifice? So we'll see.
Might be
You
interesting.
know, like that. So
What's your favorite childhood movie?
childhood movies, Ghostbusters.
Okay.
Ghostbusters. What's the other one? A Weird Science.
Yeah.
Big with Tom Hanks. We have all those on Blu-ray.
I think my favorite childhood movie was probably Annie, the original Annie.
Oh yeah, that one with Jamie Foxx and that little brown girl, man. I didn't even watch that, man. You don't have to change movies, to be what's the word?
Culturally
Yeah,
diverse or
don't do
different.
that.
Yeah.
I've always known Annie to be a redheaded little white girl. I'm sorry if that offends anybody, but I don't want a little brown girl's Annie.
Sometimes it just doesn't match. So, and when you've grown up with the story a certain way for a long time, it's hard to swallow it differently. Just like Snow White.
Definitely.
That girl is not Snow White.
Man, that movie, God, I mean, I thought it was going to be a little bit of a win for Disney, but it was a bomb for them. I'm curious to see how bad it did. I mean, how bad it is when it comes out on Disney Plus. I'm like, is it really that bad? But nowadays we want to put a lot of woke stuff in there. Woke this, woke that. I'm like, let's just have movies that we can just watch. That's what people want to do, unwind.
So did they change the storyline too?
They changed a few
Okay.
things apparently.
Okay, still it's not Snow White.
And I guess the girl, her background, people got a little mad because she was in the little white girl playing Snow White, which I can understand where you got a generation of people who grew up on it and that's all they know.
Well,
Let's give them a little grace on that. Yeah, let's give them a little grace on that. Nobody's racist. It's just like
It's not your. It's no, she was ivory complected with the
Yeah.
very dark hair and the dark blue bodice, and it
Hmm.
was a striking look
Yeah.
that you identified that as Snow
Yeah,
White.
definitely. So people got pissed off, and then Disney said, "Well, maybe they forgot to see it, so let's re-release it on fewer theaters," and it didn't do good.
Nah,
So
still not Snow White.
you know, so I do want to see. That made me think. I do want to see it. Already came out in the movies, and we're just waiting for it to be streaming. Is the monkey? I think it's called the monkey.
Oh yeah, with the toy monkey thing that has the
Yeah,
evil in it.
yeah. It's
Okay,
supposed to.
yes,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
like that might really be
Yeah, they
scary.
I think it's maybe a remake or no, it's a Stephen King short,
Yes,
and they
and
redid it.
he's a creepy dude. He
Yeah,
knows how to make creepy stuff.
Didn't he made Cujo on
Mm-hmm.
acid or something?
Oh, I don't know. I just know he wrote
He
it
was
and
on
it was
drugs.
intense.
He was a druggie. Nobody knew that. Like Stephen King was a very functional drug addict. He just dabbled in everything. You
Well,
know.
some of the demented things he came
Yeah,
up
man.
with, he's
But
altered state in
you've
there.
given us classics and you've scared us to death. And speaking of Stephen King, they are remaking Cujo, and it's supposed to be helmed by I think our gracious streaming service Netflix.
Oh, it's gonna be a Netflix movie.
That's what I
Okay.
read. That's what I read.
I mean, I think they could do it because that movie, the people in that movie are not like iconic stars now, so it's
Mhm.
not you're not messing with the legacy.
Yeah,
So
you just gotta get a little bit.
you
of
got to
stuff
be able
right.
to create that, like you were hot with that lady.
Yeah.
You got to be able to create that same intensity.
Yeah, yeah. It's all about with that movie, like you said, elements. You know, when she was in the car for a couple of days, and she had her son with her, and I think her son had something. There was something wrong with her.
Yeah, maybe he was diabetic or something.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
he
yeah.
got very sick.
Yeah, and she was just hot. She was about half naked in the car, and you got this big old Saint Bernard that had rabies. Simple story. When you think of a simple concept, but it was very impactful. Definitely for sure.
Yeah.
What about all the corny movies from the late '80s, early '90s?
Like the Toxic Avenger, that kind of stuff.
They're redoing it.
Really?
Peter Dinklage is Toxic Avenger. He's a short person. I don't know how it's gonna work. He's a little person gonna play supposed to be somebody that's real buff and tall. So yeah.
So I remember back in the days on the USA Network on Saturday nights that her name was like Rhonda something. She would host all those terrible
Oh yeah.
movies, and I remember they were
that
horrible.
that
but
was a
I
good
just-
show. Yeah, she was a good host, very much so. But I go back and think about what's that movies that we used to like then, and you try to watch them now. You're like,
Goonies.
oh my god, you said Goonies. Mine's would be any of the RoboCop movies
Oh,
besides the
gosh,
first one.
yeah.
Besides the first one was pretty solid.
And anything
Yeah.
with Steven Seagal in it.
Anything. Anything where he was in anything whatsoever. It's like, how did we start liking him? I think he might have had one movie that you might come watch now that was solid, but anything after that.
Well, and
ugh.
maybe we weren't his target market because
I
my
don't know.
dad loved Steven Seagal, Chuck Norris, Sylvester Stallone,
You-
Arnold Schwarzenegger. He loved all that stuff, and so maybe those guys. He was, an older man. He had been in a war.
He never got beat. He never got beat up. There wasn't never any urgency for Steven Seagal in any movie.
Because he was gonna win all the time.
Yeah, I'm like, no.
He's gonna use his karate moves on him.
Yeah, but then what else was corny movies back then? God, there might have been a whole bunch. Do you have any?
Corny movies.
It was just like, what was that movie with Bette Midler? It was Bette Midler, Danny DeVito, Ruthless People.
Oh, I never saw that.
It was good, but it's like late '80s, early '90s, and you're watching it now. You don't hate it, but you like it's corny.
Okay.
so
Well,
that-
I mean,
Yeah.
Danny DeVito, he kind of a corny dude.
Yeah, and I remember back in the day, the guy what was the guy he played in all those movies? He was like the actual supposed to be back then, the good looking guy in movies. They put him in in all the movies. What was his name? He did a movie with Glenn Close. He did a movie with
You're
Glenn.
talking about Michael Douglas?
Yeah, you remember all the movies he did like that?
Quite
He was
he
rolling.
made some good movies though.
Yeah, but he was supposed to be the hunk back then. I'm like, that's your hunk?
In Basic Instinct, that with Sharon Stone, that movie was
was
very provocative for that time.
They went crazy over that movie
She
for
was
for that scene where she crossed her legs. And I went back. I was young, and I went back. My mom wouldn't let her see it. I went back to see what everybody was talking about. I'm like, I didn't see nothing.
You must didn't freeze it on the right.
Yeah, shoot.
But I mean, for a woman villain that was sexy and she owned it, and she, was like, that was very provocative for that time.
Yeah, I'm like, how many times can you press rewind? What she doing that? And there were VCRs back when I was watching that, and it's hard, Wow. But anywho, it's movies is supposed to be, like I said, something where we don't have to do so much thinking. Thinking, just relax.
I don't like that when you're there, like you're working as hard as the characters to figure out what's going on. Don't give it all away, but I'm here to enjoy myself and be entertained. Don't make it too complicated.
Jordan Peele's movies are getting like that, where you have to go back. Supposedly, you could go back and watch Get Out so many times and find something different things. And I do appreciate his creativity about it, but it's just like sometimes I just want to get the point,
right?
Enjoy it, and I do enjoy his stuff. But
what's the movie with the rabbit and the under people?
Us.
Yeah, like that. I enjoyed that. It was very suspenseful, but I'm still not sure I understood the whole underground people situation.
Yeah, I think I got it for sure. I think I got it. But it's like you could tell by I hate talking about Jordan Peele. He's a good writer and director, but it's you could tell where he had to crank out. They're getting him now to crank out movies a little quicker, and it's like the quality. It's like Us. It was good. Was it good as Get Out? No, but and Nope was definitely.
I didn't. Based on your feedback, I didn't watch.
You can go watch Nope. I'm like, nah, I didn't go to the movies to see that. I'm like, I'm gonna chill out, or maybe I was expecting something else, so.
Well, they hyped it up so much about what was this unknown situation that the whole movie was about, and then you was kind of like, wah, wah.
Yeah, that's just like almost like M. Night Shyamalan. I hope he doesn't get like
always ruins the end of the movie.
But he'll give us a banger though. That's the thing.
Good. So good to the last 5 minutes.
No. The thing about it is like when he hits. Like what's that movie we went to go see that he did? What was the name of it?
What happened in it?
When the kids went to go see their grandparents.
Oh, The Visit.
The Visit. He hit The Visit.
Yes, and that was one he did not mess up.
And Split, I think he did excellent. And then you go back to
But that final one in that whole Split series, wasn't that where they went to the farm and he was crazy like this? He was a doctor. What was it?
Oh.
You
mean with the aliens?
No. Where the guy from Split, they went to visit
him.
he
didn't do that.
Oh, he wasn't that
No,
one?
no,
okay.
He didn't do that one. That was God. Don't speak or something like that.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yes, because the little boy couldn't talk.
Yeah, where James McAvoy in it, and I like James. He's a stand-up actor, but I was like, what is this? I'm not used to it, but that's what actors have to do. They have to just try things and see if they stick.
Those people should have left that first night.
Yeah, if you watch this movie, if you haven't seen it, I mean, it's worth you investigating and watching. It's called Don't Speak with James McAvoy. I would suggest you watch it. After he started acting a little kooky, that's when you leave.
Yeah. Okay, so getting kind of close to our time, but I'm curious, what shows or Netflix movies do you think could have been blockbuster movie theater movies?
Oh my God. The Harder They Fall.
Oh yes.
Definitely. I'm like, what's going on here? This is Jay-Z produced. You got all these talented people in it. And what's my guy's name that was in it? What's his name? Jonathan Majors. He's a good actor despite what he's gone through. Let's don't throw him away because this dude's really, really talented.
And we have so many other actors who've done some jacked up stuff.
Yeah, man. We gave Charlie Sheen a couple of tries. What's that? Robert Downey Jr. And we love him. You know, we have forgotten what he's done in his past because he's Iron Man. You know, he saved Marvel Universe. But yeah, what about you? That's one. I hope we get a sequel from that.
Yeah.
Definitely, I'm praying on that one.
I'm terrible about remembering the movie names, but I mean, there's been a few, and I would have been curious to see if they had made C into a movie that had sequels to it
Yeah.
to really kind of expand that timeline
Oh
and
yeah.
that their storylines because I really enjoyed that series
Yeah.
too.
And anybody who doesn't know, a lot of people always say this, and I don't know how you people don't know this, but C is an Apple series on Apple TV Plus. Yeah, so check that out. You know, Jason Momoa, Alfred Woodard,
Yeah.
Some other great actors. Dave Bautista's in it. You know, and the villain,
Oh my gosh.
the
Yes.
Queen in it. Please watch it. If you don't watch it, for any of those people we just said, watch it for the Queen.
She was the excellent villain.
Yeah, oh my God. She was mean, dirty, filthy, grimy, everything crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Great actress. I forgot. She used to be a model, maybe.
Okay.
That's what I think.
She's not an American, correct?
I can't remember.
Okay.
Yeah, I wish I had her name. Well, I guess that's our time. Thank you, peeps. Come back and like, subscribe, comment, do all that YouTube stuff. We'll be back here next week, next Saturday again. We'll appreciate you, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.